Retributive punishment. The title for this week's Sabbath School lesson basically means getting what you deserve, or punishment proportional to the offense. Wow! What does it mean in the context of Job?
Last week we met with Eliphaz, and this week we're going to meet more of Job's advisors. Is that good news or is that bad news? What is it that they feel compelled to tell us?
Quick recap. Eliphaz basically said to Job, you have done something wrong, and God is punishing you for that. He's trying to awake you through this punishment. Apparently didn't help much Job because he wasn't seeing what he was being punished for. Even more, why wasn't he pardoned if he did something wrong? And he shared how senseless everything is, how tired he is, how he has lost the taste for life. He poured out his soul. And now we arrive to chapter 8.
And here comes Bildad, a respected visitor of Job, I suppose, and he lays down his theology. Again, and I mean theology. What's wrong with these people? Don't they have words of compassion and words of support? And to be fair to his statements, they are a true reflection of Bible truths. You can check them out by yourself in chapter 8. However, the statements are an expression of senseless, retributive legalism. Why? Because they are being misused.
Verses 5 and 6. If you would earnestly seek God, Job, and make your supplication to the Almighty, if you were pure and upright, surely now He would awake for you and prosper your rightful dwelling place. This for me is in the core of the issue. Somehow there is a common understanding that if you do good, you'll be okay with God. But if you humble, you suffer, but you have a chance to get better. Don't upset the gods. In the heart of Christianity, there is a completely different essence, but somehow we are either not getting it or we are easily forgetting it. Confronted with such perception about God from one side and the cruel reality where very often good people are suffering and those that prosper are questionable, many refuse to believe in such God. Well, guess what? I refuse too. We are broken, and God is not some kind of correctional facility, but the only one who can restore us holistically.
Grace seems to be far from what Job's friends intended to establish as their common ground of consolation. Not only Eliphaz, not only Bildad, but now in chapter 11, somebody with the name of Zophar speaks out after another cry from Job. He is no different than the previous two. Oops, I'm sorry, he is different. He is much more judgmental and far more insensitive. He tells Job that he is not suffering what he deserves, meaning to the extent that he deserves it. He tells him that God has even forgotten some of your sins, Job. Irony. A friend of Job. I don't think so.
Job had some questions. He was struggling. He was pouring out his heart. And this was perceived as an attack against God. Now, let's honestly examine ourselves. Are we often such friends too? Interacting with those that don't believe, or that have serious objections against God, that maybe even revolt. Are we coming up with the same kind of advices and judgments? From here, the lesson may be a bit confusing, and in a sense it seems to start defending some of the understandings of Job's friends.
A common thread of retributive punishment as an outcome of sin appears in the words and the thoughts of all the visitors of Job. The lesson makes a point when those people most probably lived. They They lived in the period after the flood and before the Exodus, in a time of events like Sodom and Gomorrah. When people disobeyed, God punished them severely. But I wonder, did they not see the message of grace in God sparing the life of Noah and his family, and the message of grace in God sparing the life of Lot and his family? Seems to me that sometimes we can be one-sided only in favor of the left or right extreme truth, and how unfortunate that is.
However, we have to admit that yes, God does punish. Sin will not be left, and there will be retribution. There are strong examples in the Bible about it. The flood, the earth opening and devouring the rebels against Moses and Aaron. There is a point in all this.
And finally, we can say that one day God will come and put an end to sin. And with it comes the punishment that Job's friends so fervently were talking about. But until then, I desire mercy, said God in Hosea 6:6. And Jesus devoted his whole mission on showing mercy. If I can only imagine Job having as a friend Jesus, not Eliphaz, not Bildad, no Zophar, but Jesus for a friend, how much more different would have been his experience then?
These lessons are a bit messy. What I mean is that there are no clear answers, at least not yet. We are taking peeks from different angles, but so far it seems that we are like Job's friends, in a sense. We bring what we know, what we think, we try to find some explanations, but it's a bit of a mess. Join us again next week when we will continue digging and trying to add to the picture that the lessons are trying to build.